Hey, SEC stuff. I'm Sierra alongside Molly, and the Texas Longhorns get the win over number 6 Oklahoma in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. The Longhorns win this one 23-6. Molly is our resident Texas fan, so she's going to be in a much better mood today.
I'm in a much better mood today. I think that was probably one of the best Red River rivalries that we've had in a little while. Obviously, last year's was not as entertaining, I don't think. I mean, obviously, it's always fun beating a team. But this game to me had so much grit on both sides. Each team really showed up and showed out. And so, but I think John Mateer is a great quarterback. Like I am so impressed with how he's taking on this Oklahoma team. I mean, he's had a recent surgery. He's kind of coming back from injury. He really wasn't his physical best yesterday, and just the way he played, I think shows wonders. Like that's not him at his full best. I would be nervous to play him at his full best personally. Um, I don't know if you got to watch just how amazing he was. I felt like every time he stepped in, it was great. But I just think you can't, it's so hard to beat the Texas defense. I think Texas just has such a good defense. And so him not being at his best, and they were also out a couple players, I don't think helped Oklahoma at all. But then ultimately, I think Arch is finding rhythm. He's maturing as a quarterback. And I think Texas offense really showed up on this one too.
I was really impressed by Texas's offensive line because the week before we saw Arch Manning get sacked 6 times against Florida. Now it was only once, which still not great, but it shows how this Texas team is able to turn around when it's necessary, especially when they're playing their rival. I think they got really juiced up to play against Oklahoma and really bounce back and get that signature win because I've said Texas has not had that signature win yet. Beating this Oklahoma team who had the best offensive line, or rather, beating this Oklahoma team who has the best defense in the country is a huge deal for this Texas offense who has been struggling as of lately.
I think when we're comparing the two special teams, we're looking at two completely different teams. I'm looking at Tate Sandell on the Oklahoma side, who was able to come in and bring in a 42-yard field goal. I think that is so important in such a big game like this. And yet here we are as Texas, we were losing points. We missed two that presumably should have been made. Like I was a little upset about that. It gave me PTSD from our old kicker Burt last year. He missed two winning field goals. And I think that is somewhere that Texas definitely lacked in yesterday's game. And we gave up points doing that. Like those were 6 points that could have been ours that we missed. So I'm just hoping that that is something that Texas is going to work on, because the next 5 weeks are all SEC play. It gets pretty intense for us. But I think Texas defense really stepped up. Like they already were good. They went another level up.
The Texas defense just really limited Oklahoma on those explosive plays, which Oklahoma is very capable of making those explosive plays just because of their quarterback, John Mateer, but he was limited not only by his thumb, I personally think, but also by the Texas defense, who really helped control that game. Texas, or rather, OU averaged just 5.4 yards per pass, so it was very short. And also, when it comes to the run game for Texas, Arch Manning wasn't the leading rusher anymore, which was great to see because he's a quarterback. Shouldn't be the leading rusher on the team. Quintravion Wisner, though, had a great performance. He had 22 carries, 94 yards, and 5 catches for 34 yards. So he really helped to wear out that Oklahoma defense that's known for being so strong and been able to play those full games. They just didn't have an answer for that Texas offense, which is very refreshing for Texas fans because of what they've seen this whole year so far. It hasn't been great offensively. This game might have been the one to turn the light switch on.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And I think they avoided so many turnovers. I think Texas, that's one thing I've been really frustrated as a viewer watching as a fan, is that they just keep turning over the ball. Like even with Ohio State, I was like, why are we letting this happen? Like this is insane. This was their first game where they didn't have any turnovers. It was a great game for them. And like you said, I think this was the game that maybe Texas needed. They needed that spark. Like this is their rally. Like they're gonna rally through the rest of the season is my hope and prayer. Um, Oklahoma going forward, like they're officially undefeated, or they're officially not undefeated. Um, I still think they're such a strong team. Like I actually, as a Oklahoma hater, was so impressed watching their team yesterday. And I'm happy with the turnout, but I think Oklahoma is somebody that we should be watching that I didn't think we were going to be watching earlier this year. This is a team that I am closely going to have an eye on throughout the rest of SEC play, and then also, I mean, we're looking at a team that is very strong. So I could see them in the playoffs for sure.
I could definitely see that too. So with Texas, they have a pretty easy schedule going forward for the most part. They have to play Georgia, so obviously that's not easy. But they're playing at Kentucky next. Texas' first time playing in Lexington, so I expect them to get the win there. So if Texas wins out, I honestly feel like that could make Oklahoma look better because it gives the committee, the college football playoff committee, some leeway. They're like, okay, Oklahoma lost to the Texas team that was ranked number one in the country at one point. And they're playing with their quarterback, John Mateer, who was out for 2.5 weeks because of thumb surgery. So if I were the committee, I'm like, this Oklahoma team is good, especially if they win out or do well in their schedule because of how tough their schedule is. I mean, they're playing South Carolina next, then they've got Ole Miss in Norman, Tennessee, who Arkansas played toe to toe with Tennessee as well for quite a bit of while. But it just shows like the SEC, I feel like is just so wide open this year that who knows what can happen.
It's honestly backwards of what I thought was going to happen. I totally
Yeah.
thought like, Texas, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee would be these top dogs and everybody else kind of was just a normal SEC team, and I feel like it's completely flipped. Like I actually feel like Texas, Tennessee, Florida and Georgia are all kind of question marks. Like they could go one way or the other. Like we could see a lot more upsets throughout the rest of the season for all of those teams. But I think ultimately for Texas to see the future and see maybe an SEC championship or a playoff spot, consistency. Like they have to remain consistent. Like they cannot afford another loss this season. Like this is it. Like they don't have another loss in them. So luckily, yes, we play Kentucky. We also play Mississippi State. Yikes, we'll definitely win that one. And then we also have Georgia. So it's Georgia is definitely one that I am pumping the brakes a little nervous about. But Georgia is not as good as I thought that they were going to be this year. So I
Auburn
think,
played them pretty closely this
yeah,
last weekend. Yeah.
yeah, I am shocked. Like, look at the Tennessee Georgia game. I mean, like we are watching this in real time, being like, actually, Georgia wasn't as good this year as we all predicted them to be. Um, We'll have to see. My eyes are open, like you said. The SEC right now is kind of an open playing field because Florida beat Texas, but then Texas beat OU, which OU was undefeated. So it's really just strength of schedule and how we're going to be consistent going forward as a Longhorn. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be such a good rest of the season. I think this was the game that's going to kick them into gear. It's finally they found their momentum, they found their flow. And Arch is wildly different as a quarterback from just 4 weeks ago. So I think he's matured. I think he is taking this team places that we had hoped he was taking us several weeks ago.
Yes, I definitely agree.
Yeah. Poor little Manning. I felt bad. Like I just feel like everybody hated him so much. Like I was at a watch party yesterday and people were kind of crapping on him and I was like, well, not fair when he's the leading rusher, not fair when he doesn't have an offensive line that backs him.
It's
These are
almost like it's a trend to hate Arch Manning. You know how like it was a trend to hate Taylor Swift. It's a trend to hate Arch Manning and talk about him because and say he's a flop and whatnot. It's like guys, his O line was crappy. Like you can't blame. It's never like completely the quarterback's fault unless he throws 5 interceptions. DJ Lagway did that against Florida, but they still were crappy.
I mean, no, you're exactly right.
Or he did
I
that
think
against LSU rather. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Ohio State game was a big game for Archie, and I think that was just such a tough game for everybody. And we're looking at literally the two best defenses in the country. But then Florida's loss really was, I don't think, Arch's fault. I think a lot of that was we had several false starts, which were yards that we gave away. Offensive line,
The
hello.
Swamp is a loud place to play. I've personally never been to the Cotton Bowl. I'm not downplaying their win, but it can't be louder than the Swamp. I mean, that place is one of the toughest environments to play, not only in college football, but I think of all the sports.
Yeah, it's just tough. Like I think that game was not Arch's fault. I don't think any of these losses have been his fault, but I definitely don't think Florida was his fault. I think he played as best as he could, the best of his ability, and he was the leading rusher. So that says a lot about our offense. So I think going forward, I think remaining consistent, that same energy that we had against Oklahoma going forward, I think could take us to an SEC championship. But we'll have to see because this is not going how I thought it was going to go. So what do I know?
Well, we shall see how the rest of the season turns out. Let us know how you feel in the comments. Are you impressed by Texas's win? Do you think it's a fluke? What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments. That's Molly. I'm Sierra, and we'll see you next time.